All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Maddie here. Today, we're going to be doing an off-meta showcase, kind of the last one of the season. I like to highlight some players playing unique deck lists in online tournaments that do well, but aren't necessarily meta decks. That's what the series is really all about. But before we get into that, we got a couple of things that we have to talk about first before we get into the cool decks. The first thing is going to be registering for PMPT number 12 this weekend, Saturday at noon. $100 cash in the prize pool, as well as a full art research. This is the Mega Rising finale. I heard that the coolest people in the world play in the tournament this weekend. So if that's one of you, then you should go register. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun. The last tournament of the season, and I think that it's worth playing. I really do. I know the Meta Monday after this probably won't matter very much, but it's always going to be a whole lot of fun, and you can go ahead and earn that Full Art Professor's Research. Link to register down in the description below. The other thing we have to talk about is some very interesting news. We don't typically do like news stuff here on the channel, but I figured why not? Let's talk about it. The official Pokemon TCG Pocket Twitter account uploaded this one video today. We were maybe expecting a trailer video for the upcoming set coming in 7 days, a week from now, right on the 17th. So normally, well, I think it was rumored that the set would release on the 17th, normally like around a week before we get a trailer, like a teaser. But I guess we haven't gotten that today, but what we have gotten is like a teaser for the teaser. I don't really understand it. Anyway, here's the post that they made today. 3 eyeball emojis, and then this 10-second long video. Here we go. This is the video. So we see some water come over, some flowers and flower petals, and then some fire. And then they say 12:11 at 14 o'clock UTC. I don't even know time zones really. But yeah, so I guess there's going to be like a big announcement coming tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 11th, sometime tomorrow. I don't know what that's really going to be about. I have no idea. Are we going to be getting like the Kanto starter Pokemon Megas? Are we going to be getting another 3-pack set on the 17th? I have no idea what's happening here. This is really, really interesting. I like the memes that people commented down here a little bit. However, the news is really exciting. So tomorrow, we should be getting some word of what the next set coming to Pokemon Pocket is. They should announce some new cards, and then we can fully dive in and explore all of the really fun stuff that's likely going to be coming to the game here on the 17th, as they announced, right? So, or haven't announced, but it's pretty likely. So, it's been a long time since new cards came out. I think what happened was that they released 3 packs, so they were like, all right, let's give them a lot of time to collect all of those cards. Like when Mega Rising came out, it would be really interesting to see if that's what happens. Like, they might change the release schedule, right? With the way that they released packs last year, they did. Of course, they started with Genetic Apex, which was sort of what Mega Rising was supposed to be like, and then after that, they did a 1-pack mini set, and then a 2-pack full set, and then they sort of went back and forth between 1-pack and 2-pack releases every month or so. So I'm really curious. Very curious to see what happens here in the announcement tomorrow. But anyway, stay tuned. We'll talk about it when things get officially announced. But keep in mind, the 11th, which is tomorrow at 14 o'clock UTC. I don't know what that means. I don't know my time zones. Anyway, that's the news. That's everything going on here. Let's dive into these deck lists. We have 7 decks from varying online tournaments over the past week, playing, of course, decks that are not typically played, not something that you would consider meta, but we'll dive right into it. Also, we're probably going to be live on YouTube and Twitch tonight playing some ranked battles for the last time this season. So if you guys want to tune into that, definitely come and check it out tonight. Anyway, the first deck is going to be Cooley's deck from Spain. He was playing Flareon EX, which is not something we've seen really at all this season. However, this Flareon deck is very, very unique. He went 6-3, by the way. Did make it into day 2 at our tournament this past weekend. So he was playing double Flareon, single Sylveon, 1 Pin Missile Jolteon. Is interesting, right? So and then 2 Pichu and then 1 Oricorio. So this is kind of like what we saw a bit. Was it last season or 2 seasons ago? Before Mega Rising came out, there was a Lightning type Flareon deck that was actually pretty good into like Suicune, which is why people started to play it. I really like this deck list. They seem to have like brought it back, and they're playing 1 copy of Oricorio, 1 copy of Red, double Eevee bag. I think that Flareon in general is kind of underrated. We're getting a Bob's Furniture ad here. I don't know. I guess my ad blocker is no longer enabled. Whatever. You guys can just we're getting ads, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, Flareon EX is not that bad, and it's still a card in a strategy that's been good into Suicune, and that was proven the season prior, right? So this is interesting. I know that Mega Rising is a new season with all of these crazy Mega Pokemon, but Flareon can deal a lot of damage. It can KO, Suicune EXs and various other Pokemon in the game, which is kind of cool. Oricorio is going to help you against those Mega Pokemon. I like this, and it is a bit of a throwback, right? It's been a long time since we saw the Jolteon Flareon combo. The Jolteon stuff's been seeing a little bit of play in a variety of different decks, like the Leafeon deck and with Zero Aura. This is going to be like the pin missile, right? So the whole idea with this deck was that Flareon itself actually had a good matchup into Suicune because we could consistently one-hit KO with Suicune with EV Bags and with Red. And then Pin Missile Jolteon actually also was sometimes good into Suicune, but it was also a card that could easily get around Oricorio. So that's sort of the idea with this deck. Definitely a throwback. It's been a long time since I saw it, but definitely pretty cool. I think a lot of people probably forgot this deck because it kind of came in just like a couple of weeks before Mega Rising came out, because we had like 2 of the same metagames in a row. We had like 2 months of the same seasons, kind of the dark ages of Pokemon Pocket before Mega Rising came out. But this was a really fun deck that had popped up during that time, and I did really like it. And yeah, why not? Kind of a throwback, right? I mean, 6-3. Shout out to Cooley bringing it back, making day 2 at the tournament. I love it. So shout out to him. Next up is going to be Thomas Xavier at the Little Turbo for the Crake. I don't know what this tournament name is, to be honest. But anyway, he was playing Dragonite, and he's from Chile, by the way, 6-3. And Dragonite is something that, to be fair, like I don't think is that bad. Especially the single prize Dragonite, especially. Like when you take a look at the metagame, there's a lot of decks that are kind of filling their bench with low HP Pokemon. And Dragonite kind of takes advantage of that. It also has enough HP to live attacks from any Mega, which is kind of cool, right? So this is kind of traditional Dragonite, but again, we're not playing Dragonite EX. We're kind of just playing the small Dragonite. Dragonite EX and things like Lugia really aren't meta at all because Altaria has 190 HP, Blaziken has 210. A Caped Greninja EX has 190. So like that 180 damage threshold like isn't really important anymore. It used to be really good, but now it's not that good. But the Draco Meteor Dragonite is actually a really strong Pokemon. And it actually like allows you to kind of deal damage and maybe KO like a Mega Pokemon on the bench. So it's interesting. This is not something that I think a lot of people have been playing, but I do think it's something that is quite strong. If we go back here, does it show the energy type? Yeah, he's playing double energy for this deck list, and he's playing Pichu, which is interesting. So I think this whole deck, because the thing with this Dragonite is all you need is 1 water energy and 1 lightning. So out of the 4 energies or 3 turns it'll take to set up this Dragonite and Draco Meteor, you're probably going to get one of the 2 energies out of your energy zone. And since we're playing Pichu, like it's somewhat likely that, we all we need is 1 water out of like 3 turns, right? Sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes it does. But I really like the deck, and it's all single prizers. This Dragonite can get double Draco Meteors off basically every time it comes on the board. And oftentimes that is enough to kind of win some games. I'm curious about his matches here. Shout out to Thomas. He lost to an Altaria, lost to a Decidueye, and then lost to a Magnezone Oricorio, which is kind of crazy if you think about it, considering what his deck list is. Maybe he got unlucky there in that matchup, but he went 6-3. It's Dragonite. I know it's nothing really new, but it is sort of unique, not something that we've really seen much before or at all this season. So I wanted to just showcase it. That's what this video is all about, right? Just showcasing decks that don't normally see a lot of play, but had some success, right? I mean, come on now. It's Dragonite. Doesn't everybody love Draco Meteor Dragonite? This used to be the thing way back in the day that people just always tried to play. You know what I mean? It was like every set would come out and be like, can we play Dragonite? Most of the time the answer was no. Shout out to Thomas, right? He did it. He went 6-3. Next up is going to be Blue from Turkey at the MLA Crew Advent Door number 9 full art Altaria, $30. I don't know what's going on here. But that's the tournament name. Blue from Turkey was playing 18 trainer Tapu Koko. Okay. So it's 18 trainer Tapu Koko. This was kind of a thing at some point. If we take a look at his matches, he actually lost to a Mega Ampharos, and then ended up losing to Suicune Greninja. But he beat 3 of them, which is kind of funny. And that's what Tapu Koko 18 trainer is really all about. This is just a deck that is purely meant to beat Suicune, but obviously it auto loses to Oricorio, and it's probably not that good into a varying other strategies. So something like this is kind of funny, especially in tournaments. Like if you dodge Oricorio and you hit a couple of Suicunes, like a deck list like this probably isn't that bad. It's not something I would really choose to bring to ranked. If I'm being honest with you, I don't think this is a great ranked deck, but, you know, in smaller tournaments, people oftentimes just play Suicune, right? Because, you know, that is sort of the default deck even right now. I love it. I mean, he is playing one Sabrina, one Repel, so theoretically he is like kind of teching some cards to get around Oricorio, but these are cards that are just good into Suicune, as we used to know, back when the Repellion was in full effect. It's 18 trainer Tapu Koko. What else can I say about it? The double Giovanni is hilarious. I just love this. I just do. I love everything about this. Is Swablu weak to lightning? I think it is. So I think Giovanni allows you to one-hit KO Swablus with Plasma Hurricane, which again sounds absolutely hilarious to me. I think this deck actually has somewhat decent potential, right? It also allows you to KO with baby Pokemon like Chingling, which is pretty cool, right? So the pacing matters a lot with Tapu Koko. Obviously, a lot stronger going second than it is going first, but we love it either way. Kind of funny, right? When I saw this, I was like, we'll talk about it. We'll mention it in today's video because, like, you know, who's playing 18 trainer Tapu Koko these days? I don't know, but Blue was, and he went 6-2, and I think that's absolutely hilarious. Next up at the same tournament is Audie, who's playing Mega Ampharos, right? So I believe we just saw Blue lost to Mega Ampharos. Yeah, he did. He lost to Audie. So this is the Mega Ampharos that Blue lost to. He went 5-2. Audie from Indonesia. And of course, whenever Mega Ampharos sees play or does somewhat well at a tournament, we got to showcase it here in our weekly series. And the main reason for that is because Mega Ampharos is my favorite Pokemon in the entire game, my favorite card. And I just love Ampharos. He's just so cool. And I wish he was a little bit better. I'm hoping maybe we get some additional support around Mega Ampharos. It looks like the next set might be focused around the 3 starter Pokemon. I don't know what's going on there. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I mean, this is literally just Pichu Mega Ampharos with double Flaffy. So the whole idea with this deck is to just go into Mega Ampharos with double Lily and hope you can win the game. And, you know, if you get into Oricorio, like, you're probably going to not, you know, love it. You're not going to have a great time. But I guess Flaffy does 50 damage. I mean, it's possible. It is theoretically possible to beat Oricorio here. It's just probably not something that's going to happen very often, you know. But you know, I love Mega Ampharos, and I think that a deck list like Mega Ampharos with triple energies and being a stage 2 Pokemon, you kind of maybe have to play it like this, unfortunately, right? The other stage 2, you know, decks in the game, Pokemon that are rare candy, they don't attack at all like Greninja, or they have 2 energy attack costs, or like Hydreigon, they just accelerate energies to themselves, right? So, you know, a deck list like this is definitely a little bit, it feels bad, right? Because I think that the current like tier for Pokemon, unless they have some broken energy ability, is to basically just sort of play them, play a Pokemon as long as they have like 2 energies or less, you know. It's just the reality of the game at this point. But I love Mega Ampharos, and I think it actually has a lot of potential. Eventually, maybe not in this current metagame. It is traditionally pretty good into Suicune, but it oftentimes struggles against like everything else, specifically Blaziken, you know. But anyway, there it is. I mean, yeah, it's funny because we're playing double Flaffy, double Rare Candy. It's a funny deck. It is interesting. But I mean, let's take a look at his matchups here. I mean, he beat 1, 2 Suicunes. He lost to Leviathan, beat Altaria, beat Tapu Koko, beat Greninja Absol, actually. So he beat a bunch of meta decks before, unfortunately, losing probably to high roll Hydreigon. I think this player actually, oh no, he went 6-3. I think Hydreigon ended up winning this tournament, but yeah, kind of funny, right? It's an interesting deck. I mean, you know, it's Ampharos, so there's not much going on with it. It's just the most consistent type, like, Ampharos deck you could possibly imagine. But yeah, there you go. In the smaller tournaments, I don't think you really need to tech for Oricorio. I think that's sort of the big thing. Next up is going to be Aurora Woozy from France, and he's playing this Mega Altaria Greninja deck, which has kind of been all over the place. At the Jules X Pabsby Cup number 12, $20, and a full art Cyrus, by the way. Shout out to them. And yeah, this is picking up a lot of steam. Or at least it was a couple of days ago. Not something that I really am that confident in, but you do see it quite a bit in ranked. This might be a Saigon list. I don't know. I sometimes like random decks pop up from some of the Japanese players that are really cool, but like truthfully not that consistent enough to be considered real meta decks. But yeah, I think that this is definitely not a bad deck whatsoever. And shout out to Woozy. He went 9-3 at this tournament. So this deck list is literally just Chingling Altaria, because again, Chingling's broken. And then we're playing Greninja. double Greninja, double Cyrus. So, I mean, that's literally the entire deck, right? Double Copycat to draw, double Research, one Pokeball, one Lycia. So, again, not much going on here. We are very reliant on getting the Greninjas out. But, you know, double Copycat, double Research, like this does happen more than you think. This is definitely a pretty consistent deck. I think you still want to play Lycia just because like Chingling and Swablu are searchable. If you play Lycia, you're almost guaranteed at least one Chingling or one Swablu. You basically are. You could go 2 Swablu or pull 2 Chingling, which would be unfortunate. But if you lead either of these, then you're guaranteed both of them, right? Which is kind of cool. So I really do like this deck. I like the idea of it, but unfortunately a deck list like this is definitely reliant on either leading Chingling or going second. You know what I mean? Like Altaria is really strong as a stage 1 Pokemon, but the thing with it is that like if you were to go second here or like go first and lead Froakie, like you probably just lose the game. And I think there's a lot of these types of decks that on paper are really, really strong if they, you know, are played sort of in the correct order. If you draw the cards in the correct order, they could be really strong, but they're just inconsistent. This is basically the Altaria version of the Greninja, Chingling, and Absol deck. It's just instead of Absol, we're playing Mega Altaria, which is a better card than Absol, but you know, there's a lot of interesting things going on here. If you play this deck on the ranked ladder, you've both absolutely steamrolled through this deck because they bricked, or you absolutely got swept because they went second, led Swablu, and then went turn 2 Rare Candy Greninja Cyrus, and you lost the game. Like, so that's, you know, I mean, that's the whole idea with this deck, right? Is to lead Swablu, go second, get turn 2 Altaria, get turn 2 Rare Candy Greninja Cyrus, and then and then you just kind of win because you can just kind of do whatever you want. And then Chingling is there as well because Chingling's broken. So I do like the deck. It's just not something I consider maybe to be consistent enough to be viable in the metagame. But I mean, you know, high roll decks are high roll decks anyway. So why not play something like this, I guess? It's cool. It's definitely pretty cool. Shout out to Woozy. Wooz7YY, I think is his name. Next up at the Froggy X Super Cup, $100 prize pool is Ethan Ake. Yeah, I don't know, from Japan, and he was playing Jolteon. So, you know, this is like the video every week where we just highlight Jolteon. What's interesting here is that we're not playing Zeraora or anything. He went 6-1-2, by the way, and we're just playing like triple Jolteon, 1 Pin Missile Jolteon, and then just 1 Oricorio. And like, that's the deck. Double Cyrus, Jolteon lead, only boosted Evolution EV. One of the things I really don't like about a lot of Jolteon decks is that they oftentimes play like 1 copy of like EV-EX, and if you lead with it going first, it feels really bad. So I really do like, I like boosted Evolution EV, and I like Jolteon with double Cyrus. It's a really cool deck. I just think that it doesn't necessarily have like enough power, you know, to really contend with a lot of stuff in the metagame. But Oricorio, I mean, Oricorio can kind of win you games sometimes. There's enough here to do something. This is just sort of like the one Jolteon deck that, you know, did well recently in a tournament. So I wanted to showcase it. Nothing too crazy going on here, but it is Jolteon. And I know people like Jolteon. Maybe like, I think Jolteon has a lot of potential. It's just, you know, I don't know. It's a little bit awkward to pair it with certain things. You know what I mean? But you can always flip 4 coins with Pin Missile Jolteon and do 160 damage. That's always fun to do. But yeah, anyway, nothing else to really say about this deck list other than that I like it. It's Jolteon, and it's a little bit different than the other Jolteon decks, which might be playing, you know, Zeraora or Leafeon with it or something like that, right? A very kind of standard list here. Next up is going to be Ohu from Brazil. Went 5-2-1 at the same Froggy X Super Cup, and he was playing Greninja and Arceus EX. So yeah, here's a bit of a doozy. Again, 5-2-1. This is Arceus EX with Oricorio and Pichu and Greninja and Cyrus. It's a weird one. But this is a deck that can literally play, I think if we go back, does it specify? It doesn't, but I assume he's probably playing only lightning energies or maybe both. Maybe he's playing water and lightning energies because you can attack with Greninja and you can attack with Oricorio. It's basically like Ori Ninja, the traditional lists as we've seen, but now we're basically playing Arceus and Ilima, which is kind of a funny tech, right? So like in the scenarios where we lead Arceus, maybe it takes a hit and then maybe we just sort of Ilima and we get out of there, which is kind of cool. Only one Oricorio is a little bit scary, but again, we are probably playing water energies for this deck anyway, so Greninja is an attacking option, which is kind of cool, right? And 1 Iridas. So we're definitely playing water energies. It's whether or not we're playing both, which I assume we probably would be. Maybe not, actually. We might just only be playing water energies since there's only 1 Oricorio and we have 1 Pichu. Yeah, maybe only water makes more sense with the Irida. That's probably my assumption here, is that this is playing only water energies. But it's a cool list, right? I think Arceus used to be one of those cards that had a ton of potential, right? Because like the breakpoints were different. You weren't getting one-hit KO'd by like a Blaziken or an Altaria or whatever. Arceus with 140 HP like is definitely a little bit lackluster right now at this point after the power creep in all of the Mega Pokemon. I don't think that's going to change. I would like to see like an upgraded like Mega Pokemon version of Arceus, something colorless that's splashable. It's definitely a really good card. It's just tough now with 140 HP. It just doesn't really do enough. I do like it, and I like this deck list a lot, right? Why not throw Arceus Ilima sort of into the Orininja package? It's pretty cool. It's unique. But anyway, that's going to be the last deck of the video today. Again, really not much to talk about. Like I wanted to do this video. I didn't know if we were going to get the announcement trailer today or tomorrow. It looks like it is coming tomorrow. So this was just sort of one of those videos that I like to make, highlight some players. Shout out to everybody that made this video. Shout out to all these deck lists. And don't forget to go register. Don't forget to go register for Pocket Mad's Pocket Tournament number 12 this Saturday. It's the last one of the season. And yeah, stay tuned for the news tomorrow, because this is going to be really interesting. Again, let's watch this one more time here. You'll see some water, you'll see some flower petals, looks like Venusaur to me, and that looks just like fire. So it could be Kanto, it could be, you know, Blastoise, Venusaur, Charizard, Megas. They all have Megas. The only other starters that have Megas are, I guess, the Hoenn. I guess no, there's like a bunch of Mega starters that have Megas now, right? So there's the Kanto starters, Meganium, and I guess Typhlosion doesn't have a Mega, right? But for Alligator and Meganium do. So not all of the Gen 2 starters have Megas, but I guess also the Generation 6 starters have Megas, the Kalos starters, right? So Greninja, Chesnaught, and Delphox, they have Megas, so maybe it's them. Maybe it's Kalos. Could be Kalos. To me, it looks that to me the grass part is a big giveaway. Like this screenshot, is this not just like, is this not like Venusaur or Bulbasaur? Because it's like got the green, it's got the petals, it's got the flowers, and like the yellow here. Like this is very much like a Bulbasaur Venusaur thing to me. Very Venusaur, I guess, because of the pink. Like that's gotta be Venusaur, right? I mean, the water, I mean, come on now. Like what else could that be? You know what I mean? I don't know. The water to me just seems like it's water. The fire is just fire. But the middle here, the grass stuff, is a very dead giveaway that this is probably Venusaur. I'm excited for Mega Venusaur because Lilligant exists and Leaf Cape exists. That thing could have like 300 HP. I'm actually excited. Anyway, we'll see what comes tomorrow. That's the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned. A lot of news coming in the upcoming days. All right, guys, let's get out of here. Peace out. Have a good one. We'll see you guys later. And yeah. Bye.